Wow. 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 That was a classic. Best race ever. Best race ever. Better than 2000 Suzuka. Better than Silverstone 2022. Better than Silverstone 2021. Better than Silverstone 2020. Better than 88 Monaco. Best race ever. Come on, let's admit it to ourselves. How are you ever going to beat that classic? So much action. Yeah, action. And I did fall asleep during the race. For the last 10 laps of it. My dog passed out on the floor from this race. My cat, I don't even know where my cat is. I think my cat ran off somewhere because he didn't even enjoy this race. Done one, left, never to be returned. I need to go and look for him later after I've done this video. I think my cat has lost a few brain cells just watching this race. What did we get from this race? More stupidity from Ferrari. Mercedes. What can I say about Mercedes? What can I say? I think they've gave up on this car. I think Toto was talking about it. They've gave up on this car. Lewis Hamilton said before the race, he's not going to miss his car. He's not going to miss his car. I think they're talking about redesigning the car for next season. Obviously, that comes with risk. Obviously, they'll be probably developing the car since the beginning of this season. But if you're developing the car from the ground up, that takes a couple of years. So Mercedes could be making a risk developing this car. Could be. But Ferrari negotiating with Charles Leclerc. Do you want the medium tyres or do you want the soft tyres? First lapping. What did Ferrari go and do? First lapping. And yes, it was Hamilton's fault, by the way, before I get any comments, any ridiculous comments in the comment section. When that happened, when that incident happened with Mercedes, with Lewis Hamilton, it was Lewis Hamilton's fault. He could have waited. It was the first lap. They didn't even complete a first lap. No lap completed. He could have pulled out of it and got Alonso round the next time, but he never. He never. But when I saw Lewis Hamilton go to Alonso, because Lewis Hamilton did go into Alonso. Alonso was on his racing line. He didn't need to yield for nobody. Lewis Hamilton is the one who should have yielded, not Alonso. And when I saw that on Twitter, as soon as that happened, I knew straight away. I said, let me go look at my Twitter feed, and you're going to see all the marks on Twitter. Lewis Hamilton marks. You're going to see all the Lewis Hamilton marks come on Twitter, and they're going to say it's Alonso's fault. This is where I'm different. Let me just turn this off. This is where I'm different. I am a Lewis Hamilton fan. I am a Mercedes fan. But as soon as Lewis Hamilton does something wrong, I always pull him about it. This incident with Alonso was Lewis Hamilton's fault. But as soon as it happened, like I said, the marks came on the internet. Lewis Hamilton can't do no wrong. Lewis Hamilton can't do nothing wrong in their eyes. They're not true fans. They're not true racing fans. Because a true racing fan would admit to himself that that was Lewis Hamilton's fault. But what put it to bed when Lewis Hamilton got interviewed not long after the incident. I think he walked back to the paddock. I don't think no one gave him a lift. Which probably I would have walked back as well. He needed to clear his head before that interview with Sky Sports. He went back to the paddock and he was getting interviewed by Rachel from Sky Sports. And he said it was my fault. After looking at the footage again, it's my fault. So there you go, Lewis Hamilton admitting it, that it was his fault. But the sweats online is still not going to admit it. They're still not going to admit it to themselves that it's Lewis Hamilton's fault. Lewis Hamilton can't do no wrong. They're the fans I don't like. They're the racing fans that I do not like. I do not like them fans. Because they're just one-sided. You have to be equal in this situation. And it was Lewis Hamilton's fault. It was. So that was Lewis Hamilton out the race. Alonso came on the radio, which I didn't agree with what he said. But look, it's the heat of the battle. In this situation, you got the heat of the battle. When you're in that, it's like playing football or whatever sport you're in. You're very competitive, and in the heat of the time, you say something you don't mean. Alonso already addressed this during his video after the race. He said, "Look, at the end of the day, right? I'm glad that Lewis Hamilton admitted that was his fault, and that's it. I got nothing left to say about it." But what was funny, what stood out for me during that interview with Alonso come out and says, they said, "Would you surprised to see Charles Leclerc come out the pit right at the end to try and get fastest lap, and you went in front of him?" And Alonso said, "Not really. The way Ferrari's strategy is at the moment, it's all over the place." So everybody knows that Ferrari's strategy is all over the place. But the point I was trying to make at the beginning, because I just got off topic again, is why in the blue hell did they pit Charles Leclerc after the first lap, take him off the soft tyres, and then put him on the medium tyres? I just don't understand. If you are going to pit him, you should have put the hard tyres on. At least then he could have went a bit longer because he was at the back. Because at the beginning of the race, he didn't really make up no ground at all. Max Verstappen did, but Charles Leclerc never. So the strategy you should have put Charles Leclerc on, if you want to pit him, put the hard tyres on and go for the 2-stop instead of the 3-stop. But again, Ferrari made a mistake. Like how many mistakes this season. And that's it, man. What can you say about Ferrari? They don't deserve to win the title. Red Bull are world champions in constructors and drivers championship. Ferrari are going to get nowhere near them. It's over. It's game over. They've tapped out. Charles Leclerc knows he's tapped out. You can see by his body language he's tapped out. Carlos Sainz is tapped out. They're not going to catch him. No one's going to catch Max Verstappen this season. That's because he's going to be a one-time world champion. Very simple. It's going to be the first time he's won a world title. Legitly. Because we know what happened last season. I'm not going to get into last season. You know my thoughts on it. But Max Verstappen, he's going to be a world champion. And the reason why he's going to be a world champion, because that team, Red Bull and Max Verstappen, has worked perfectly in strategy. Alright, that had DNFs at the beginning. I admit that had DNFs at the beginning. But at the end of the day, they kept their head down. Perfect strategy. They've executed all the strategy perfect. And the car's going to get faster. Because Max Verstappen was saying after the race that they're going to get a lighter chassis in the next couple of races. So they're going to be even faster. So this strategy that Mercedes is supposed to have, oh yeah, we're going to make the ride height. It hasn't really come into fruition, has it? It hasn't really worked, has it? Not really. And yes, I've got an Afro comb in my head. Love it. I've got to put it somewhere. But at the end of the day, they're going to be world champions. There's no catching. Now, this is part of the season now where we know who's going to be the world champion. So now the season is kind of dry. It's not back in the day when Mercedes used to win the title a lot, especially in the early years. Come after halfway through the season, and Lewis used to be like 60, 70 points ahead. And we knew the season was over. But we've got 9 races. Well, we've got 8 races to go now. 8 races. We've got 8 races to go, and Max Verstappen has won the world title. He's 100 points nearly in front of Charles Leclerc. There's no way Charles Leclerc is ever going to make that back, and there's no way that Checo is going to catch him. So you got they're going to win the constructors as well, by the looks of it. Constructors titles. They're going to win the constructors title, and they're going to have a 1 and 2 Red Bull probably at the end of the season. A complete and utter domination. And who says that Max Verstappen can't win these last races? He's won 9 races this year. 9 races. 9. So he could win every single race this season. Every single race this season, he could win. Who's going to stop him? Can Mercedes stop him? Not in the car they've got. They've gone backwards. Ferrari, can Ferrari stop him? No, I don't think so. Not with that dog shit flipping strategy. Ferrari deserve at least with Mercedes, they didn't have a good car at the beginning. And that's the reason why they're not going to win the world title this year. But Ferrari had a good car. Ferrari had a very good car. But what done Ferrari is, alright, they had a few DNFs, they've had a few blow-ups, I got it. But the strategy has been horrendous. Charles Leclerc has got no confidence at all in the car or all the team. I reckon if Charles Leclerc, when he goes home tonight and he's chilling in his Monaco apartments, and I bet when he lies down at night time and he's thinking, he's got his head up, he's staring up at the ceiling, he's probably thinking to himself, how can I get out of this contract? How can I get out of this contract with Ferrari? Because Charles Leclerc is not going to win nothing with Ferrari. Nothing. They haven't got the team. They haven't got the mindset. They haven't got the passion. I don't think they've got the passion anymore. People say, oh yeah, Ferrari passion. The fans are a passion. The fans are passionate, but the team's not. Who is running this joint? Who is running this dog shit team, Ferrari? Who is? Look how long it's took for him to win a world title. 2007, the last time they won anything. 2007. And it's going to continue. Because Mercedes ain't going to be down for long. Mercedes might have a crap car now. And obviously they're developing it now. They're developing a new car for next season. They might have a crap car now. What? It's not going to be... They're not going to be down for long. A team like Mercedes is not going to be down for long. Not at all. Put these glasses on. So, that's all I got to say. Look, I'm going to go through... Look, I'm honest, man. A lot of people go, oh, come on. Don't be like that. Listen, I'm honest. I'm an honest F1 reviewer. I might not have the biggest channel. I've been doing this 5 years. 5 years I've been doing this. And not once have I ever been not fair. I've always been fair on this channel. I believe that Lewis Hamilton won that world title last year. I believe that Red Bull and Michael Massey screwed Lewis last season. And no one's ever going to change my mind. You can come on my comment section. You can try and argue with me all you want. You can argue with me on Twitter. You're never going to change my mind. The facts are there. Lewis Hamilton, to me, won the world title last year and they stole that away from him. Max Verstappen is not a world champion yet, but now he is. This year is Max Verstappen's year. This is the year he came along and he said, you know what? If people think I'm not a world champion, I'm going to prove my point now. He's come out. He's dominated the season because of Ferrari and because of Mercedes car not being there. And he's dominated this season. He's dominated most of the tracks. He's won more races than anybody. He's always in the top 3 most of the time. He started from the back and won this race. It doesn't matter. And the thing about it, his car, they've got the fastest car. Ever since they brought this ride height in, it was Mercedes' idea about the porpoising, which they did have porpoising. It's backfired on Mercedes and it's backfired on Ferrari. It's made Red Bull faster. Very simple. It's made Red Bull faster. And that's the gist of it, man. There's no way getting away. There's no way you can come on and say, oh yeah, this, that, be positive. Listen, it's not about being positive, man. It's about being real. You have to be real to yourself. Mercedes, you have to be real to yourself. Can you honestly say that you shouldn't have fought for Lewis last season? At the end of last season? Why didn't you fight for Lewis last season? Why? I bet you're thinking about it now that you should have. Why didn't you go to the arbitration court and fight for Lewis's corner so Lewis could have won his... so Lewis could have been announced 8-time world champion. He's 8-time world champion to me, but I'm on about officially. You go, oh, we're going to wait till this season. You got too arrogant. You thought, yeah, we're going to come into next season and win it, and then we're going to have the best car. You kept talking about, oh, this is the great car. And what happened? It's the worst car you've ever had. It's worse than the 2011 car. It's worse than the 2012 car. Fact. This is the worst car you've ever had. And it's embarrassing. And you understand why Lewis Hamilton is the way he is now. I'm surprised Lewis Hamilton has held his calm this long. If that was me, I would have been broken after the third race. The way you've treated him, the way you didn't defend Lewis Hamilton last season. Pulled out the first sign of trouble, you pulled out the arbitration court. The judge told you, go all the way, you'll win it. But you never. You left him out to dry after how many titles this guy has won you? How many titles and race wins and constructors? Let's face it, was down to Lewis why you won the constructors. The last 6 years, 7 years. It weren't down to Bottas. It was down to Lewis. And the way you treated him. And this is what you get. It's karma. It's karma, man. It's karma. Karma's come back to bite you. Now, the only thing Mercedes can do now is try and not make this season as embarrassing as it is. They've got zero pace compared to Red Bull. Zero pace. All you can do now is hopefully you started this car early. Obviously, you're redesigning the car. They're starting from the ground up. See what happens, man. See what happens. But as I see, you need to do something. And hopefully next year you come out swinging and try and win another world title. But I'm not holding my breath yet. I want to see what happens next season during winter season and the first race of the season. And I think it's Bahrain. This season's over. I'm still going to continue to do my videos because I love F1. But this season is done. Max Verstappen World Champion. Red Bull Constructors Champions. And that's it. That's it, man. They've won it. They won it fair as well. This year they did. They won it fair. And you've got to admit it to yourself. If you're a Lewis Hamilton fan or a Mercedes fan, you've got to admit it to yourself. If you don't admit it yourself, you're not a true fan. You're not a true fan. I'm always fair on this channel. Always have been. And that's just the way it is, man. This race literally was like watching paint dry. Literally. It was dog shit. Boring. There was no spark in this race. The only spark at the beginning of this race is when Lewis went out. And apart from that, oh yeah, when Bottas went out as well. It's funny how Bottas and Lewis went out. Maybe they wanted to get back on the plane early. Because they usually share planes together back to Monaco. Maybe they was thinking, come on, let's go out the race. We're not going to win it anyway. Let's get on the plane. Let's get out of here. Go back to Monaco. But Bottas is not really having a good season either. What Bottas must be thinking, man, Bottas. We don't really talk about Bottas that much on this channel. But imagine what Bottas must be thinking now. He's left Mercedes, which was the best team last... They're not the best team now. That was the best team last season. And he's gone to Alfa Romeo. His season was, at the beginning, was quite promising. But the last 4 or 5 races, Bottas has been like an afterthought. I'm surprised Bottas is going to be in Formula 1 in the next couple of years. I think he'll leave. He's made enough money. Maybe he'll go into... I could see Bottas. I could see Bottas going into rally driving. Because he used to do a bit of rally driving before. And I can see him going into rally driving because that's his background. So the next couple of years, I don't see Bottas staying in Formula 1. He had his chance in Mercedes, but he was tagged up with the GOAT, Lewis Hamilton. So all I can say about this now is this is probably the worst race. This is probably the worst race of the season. And I just can't wait for this season to finish. And that's it. This is all up we want signing out. See you later, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on iTunes and Spotify. Don't forget to catch me on Twitch. Like the video. Respect the video. And let's try and hit that 2,000 sub mark, which I'm not that far off now. And yeah, just like the video, share. Do what you want with it. But this is just my opinion. This is the F1 2022 Belgian Grand Prix race day review. See you soon, guys, in the Netherlands. We see what happens there, but I can't see Max getting beat. I can see Max winning every race this season, to be fair, unless somehow he has a DNF, which I can't see that happening now because he's just got an engine. He just got a brand new engine, started from the back. So that's the way it is, man. So this is Solo P1 signing out. See you later, guys. See you soon.